Boop, 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 boop. Let's do this real fast. Yoink! That's my tree that normally is above my house, now touching the ground outside. Ah, man. Like a video. Did you know that you could friend me on Facebook? Earl Portland. Friend Earl Portland on Facebook. I actually had, hold on a second, I'm thirsty. I can't remember how many friends I had. It was over 2,000. It might have been over 3,000. I don't know. It doesn't really mean anything. But I don't know. Remember when I started doing this? But I just started like if someone was putting out unpleasantness out there on Facebook, if I didn't really know them, I just unfriended them. If I kind of knew them and they were like back and forth about like sometimes they're pictures of their puppy and other times they're put like for instance one guy you probably know him. One guy was always posting videos of people fighting, like assaults, like actual violence. There's a couple of people like that, and I actually wrote them. I'm like, I don't I've had a history of being exposed to violence that makes me really susceptible to I don't know what you call that, personalizing it, empathizing with it. Like I watch that and I feel that. Like it's not triggering. It's like I'm in that moment. I'm in their moment, and so I can't watch that shit. And I'd write them. I'm like, hey, like you're a heck of a good guy or whatever, but I can't see that shit, and you don't seem to want to stop it. 'Cause some people said like, you're right. Actually, a couple people have given me some feedback, negative feedback about that. I'll watch it for my own enjoyment. Like it seems like that's a thing. It's like if you're really into that one particular thing and you just start sharing it with tons of people that aren't, people are like, well, it's my page. I'm like, but like your page goes to us. Like if this was for you because it's your page, like you'd put that in your save bar, on your computer or laptop or whatever. Or you'd put like a playlist for yourself. You'd save it for your own enjoyment. You wouldn't say like, hey, here's this thing that you don't enjoy. Bizarre. The other thing I want to talk about, actually two things really. One is there's a huge amount of people out there that when they say something, it's literally a tape that they've worked out in their past or recently, and they put that in and they hit play, and they're going to say all those things. If they're like saying like, let me tell you about this story I read called Pinocchio. I'm like, oh, actually, I know the book. I've seen several different movies about it. I was in the play Pinocchio, and I played Pinocchio. And when I got into a philosophy group, one of the things we talked about for 3 solid months, amongst other things, but how all these different philosophies from the Greeks through to the modernists, but how that all related back into the story of Pinocchio, and every different philosophy reinforced the tale as telling something that is intrinsically true for every culture and every person in any kind of condition of life. And they're like, so anyway, it's a story about a doll. Like, for fuck's sake. And there's one particular moment, I think this is kind of when I stopped really trying to communicate with just random people. But this person actually I'd known for a long time. And I said, hey, listen, I'm not trying to suggest that what you're doing is illegal. What I wanted to ask you about is, before you go do that, how do you prepare? And they're like, oh, legal, the law. And they start freaking about the legal thing. And then they finish, and I'm like, so there was no way for me to ask the question without avoiding what you just told me. I tried to avoid it by saying, I'm not interested or not asking about this or not trying to suggest this. I don't want to hear this. This is not something that I need in my brain at all. I just want to know about this one thing. But I didn't get any of that. And I got this long, the thing about the law is, I'm like, there was no way for you to avoid that. Like the second I started to say something about the law, I pushed a button and basically you hit pause and then you didn't listen to anything else I said. And then when I was finally done asking the question, which you didn't hear, you hit play and I got to hear the thing that I tried to prevent you from saying. I really literally gave up. You can't preface anything that you say like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to suggest that you're this, that, or the other thing. I'm not trying to suggest you're stupid, but do you ever try to cut a steak with a spoon? I'm not stupid. I'll have you know my IQ. It's like, I'm just asking about the fucking cutting with a spoon because there's this thing that I got. It's like a spoon, knife, fork thing for camping. And I was going to tell you how great it is, but I give up. Oh, man. All right, the last thing I want to talk about. I have reoccurring bad dreams. I've had bad dreams all my life. I used to have nightmares as a child. I didn't feel safe as a child, and I had reoccurring nightmares that were just awful. And my grandfather told me a technique, and he said, take like a weapon with you, like, a slingshot or a BB gun or whatever. And when the monster shows up, use that slingshot or the weapon. And that really didn't quite work. What ended up working was I need to be aware in the dream before the monster is aware. So basically, like, monsters are coming from somewhere, right? And my idea was like, I will just kind of like become aware in the dream, and as the monster's like coming into the house or whatever like that, because he's not reached my bedroom yet, because the monster doesn't come from the bedroom. Boom, I'm out of there. So if the monster can't scare you, if the monster can't catch you. And so that was my dream logic, and since it was in my mind, that just became true. So I've been having dreams lately about having too much stuff that's actually, it's trash. A lot of my, like, literally anytime I go start cleaning things out of my house, literally almost all of it ends up in the trash. Like, I have things I've been holding on to for 20 years because I used to be really poor, and I couldn't, if I had to throw away shoes because the soles were ripping out, I would save the shoelaces. Like, I never knew when 50 cents would mean eating or not. And Keela, it's okay, honey. Keela, it's okay. Oh, you're right there. Sorry. It's okay, bub. Thought he was in the other room. He's crying. Probably because I'm agitated. Keela's my emotional support dog. So I have these dreams where, it's the other thing connected to homelessness. I have these dreams where I'm lost or being kicked out, or a wide variety of that. And they're like, and whoever it is says, like, get all your stuff. Or it's just me knowing I have to leave. And all my stuff is there. And I look down, and it's just like ripped pillows and shoes with holes in the bottom, and old jackets that are dirty. So I've been having a lot of those recently. I don't know why. Probably because I'm cleaning out the garage, maybe, which has produced a lot of extra trash, and a lot have me go through possessions and really like look at them and think, how long have I owned this, and what condition is it in, and why am I afraid to get rid of it? And so now, what I've, like, just the last couple of days, I've been telling myself in the dream, like, the second I see a ton of my stuff, like my damaged old, too many things for me to carry. Keela, you're okay. Just walk off and leave it. And also, if I'm lost or being kicked out of some place, that was one of my fears too. Is like, I've been kicked out of places in my life, places I felt like secure and safe. Suddenly I'm like, not secure and safe. And that was one of the things about getting this house. It's like, this is mine. Like, this is like my fortress, some place that I can't be kicked out. But then I started to get this irrational fear about the bank. Keela, hey, Keela. Oh, he's getting deaf too. He couldn't hear me before. Honey, gotta calm down. I'm right here. I thought the bank was going to take away my house, or something would go wrong with the loan, or something like that. So for the longest time, I didn't even feel safe in my own house. And so now the thing is just walk. Like, my stuff's everywhere. Just walk. I feel lost, or I'm being ejected from a safe situation. Just walk. And that's really worked good, because like what my brain does then is it becomes aware of my surroundings, and then suddenly that starts to draw upon my creativity, and suddenly my surroundings seem like amazing. It's like bridges and rivers and boats and rafts and the ocean side and beaches and interesting architecture and stairs and cool entryways and hallways, that lead places. And that's been fairly handy. It's fairly handy. It's interesting that, like, I still get plagued with nightmares, though. I think the only time I haven't been plagued with nightmares are when, like, there's been a whole lot going on in my life. And so when my brain goes to process things, there's a whole lot of things to pull from. So occasional nightmares, occasional thinking about, like, work or social things or adventures or upcoming projects. But lately it's been, honey, Keela, you gotta pull it together, buddy. Yeah, silly old subconscious. Oh God, 12 minutes. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.